what's up you guys, this is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on Return Fire, we talk about the Dark Split Sword, enemy scaling, Loki Nerfs, and yet another Prime color scheme. Okay, so let's start this off with Yulong Tan's comment on my Dark Split Sword rundown. Its modding should have included both a heavy blade and dual sword section for each config, with polarities carrying over, except for the stance so you can specify a desired polarity for each. That way an alt-fire mechanic would have been implemented for in-game swaps. It would have been awesome to see your frame break the blade into smaller parts. Now, here's the thing. I think the general consensus on this one is that it would be awesome if we could swap between forms mid-mission. And honestly, even DE staff have said that if they could manage to implement it, they would love to do it. But what I need to do right now is bring in some realism. Because I think a lot of people think that things like this are as easy as just saying that it should be that way, and boom, magically it is that way. However, you need to keep a couple things in mind. First off, they would need to go into coding and program in a script that would create two independent stance slots that still manage to retain the same polarity when formed, without adding any extra capacity points. Next, they'll need someone in the UI department to create a layout that would not only reflect the capacity for an extra stance slot, but have a second button to access the combo window for the second stance. And depending on how information is loaded up, they would also need to ensure that the pause screen would reflect the appropriate combo as you swap between the two. And lastly, they would need the animation team to program the animations of splitting the sword and also putting it back together. And of course, this doesn't even include the fact that they have to add in the coding for the alternate fire button on a melee weapon. So while hell yeah I would love to see it swap mid-mission, we need to be realistic about what they can achieve in a specific timeline, especially with their current workload. Moving along to a comment left on the U18.13 reworks video, Arthur Metarose stated, DE should probably worry about rebalancing enemy scaling and armor first. Okay, so enemy scaling is something that I've wanted to address for a long time because as it stands, this rework scaling bullcrap is kind of a big crock of shit. The only thing that adjusting enemy scaling would do is push the finish line out further. As it stands, enemies start to get difficult around level 70-ish. Well, quote-unquote fixing enemy scaling would do what? Push that out to level 90, level 100, level 150? At some point, enemies are gonna have to pose a threat where you're not gonna be able to kill them with a single blow and they're gonna be able to hit you like a Mac truck. It just so happens that DE decided that point should be at about level 70. And as for enemy armor, it's only an issue if you aren't coming to a mission prepared to counter enemy armor. I mean shit, it's a known factor. It's not like it just magically happens mid-mission and randomly enemies start gaining armor. Honestly, it's a common sense skill check. And you know what? Some people have stated that it's really difficult to deal with enemy armor in escalating solo missions. Well, frankly, that's the benefit of having a group. I mean, if we common sense this out, in any other game you wouldn't hear about players complaining that they can't solo raid bosses. You don't hear people bitching about not being able to 1v5 an entire match in Overwatch. Those escalating missions technically aren't made to be solo friendly because their difficulty, guess what? It escalates. And Joey Rongan got the point. He said, every idiot is saying that scaling and difficulty needs to be changed first. But think about it. If this was actually changed first, then all the cheese frames would be a lot more cheesy than they already were. We don't want the overpowered things to be more overpowered, right? Yes, the common sense is strong in you. Because you know what? I'm hearing all of these tryhards complaining about enemy scaling, and it boggles my mind. I get it if the newbies are struggling with it, but as a tryhard, going 2 hours in a mission with your team won't be a big fucking deal if enemies only start getting difficult at the 1.5 hour mark instead of the 1 hour mark. If we're gonna be honest here, it just takes you longer to get to the bragging rights. So next time you hear someone bitching about enemy scaling, remember what was said here, pay attention to what they're saying, and gauge whether they've made a coherent point or if they're just some dumbass that's just regurgitating what they've heard on the forums or on Reddit. And now comes our sass monster of the week. We've got Bovine Seacow with a comment they've left on the playtesting U18.13 reworks with this little shit nugget right here. In response to all of the reworks, they state, and yet your special little Loki remains untouched. Why? Okay, we gonna do this then. Maybe it's because you haven't been around long enough to realize that he already got his nerf. First and foremost, back in the day, any melee made in stealth counted as a crit and would trigger Berserker. Don't do that anymore, does it? In addition, collision with an enemy unit would not trigger an alert state, so you could literally be humping an enemy while stabbing them and still enjoy the red crits you would get from being in stealth. So next time, slow your roll to a full stop before you speak out your ass, okay? Now let's move on to a more positive note. Per usual, a bunch of people have been asking about my Vauban Prime color scheme. I don't know why, because it's basically the same as all of my other Prime color schemes, aside from an accent tone. But ask and ye shall receive, which kinda sounds like most of my hookups on Grindr. And closing this out, lots of people had something to say on my behind the scenes video. Infernally Hypernova, as well as a few others, had mentioned something was missing from my face. I knew he had blonde hair, but I was expecting hipster glasses. Kinda like these? Now, technically they are Gunners, however, I did pick them out specifically because I thought they looked like they had hipster frames, so you're not completely wrong on that one. Alrighty, so that concludes this installment of Return Fire. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't hesitate to ask me more Warframe related questions. Maybe next time something more in the playtesting realms. As you can tell, I get a bit bitchy on some of the opinion pieces. So until then, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. See you guys next time. Bye!